What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is Expanded Thursday, and today we are going to cover the Donphan deck. Now, during this season, we really haven't seen that much love for Donphan in the expanded format, and I'm not really sure the reason behind this. I guess people think the deck's too slow, maybe because Trevenant's a really big deal. Like, Trevenant is definitely probably the best answer, saying as to why this deck isn't popular, because, you know, Trevenant has fighting resistance, which makes Donphan not hit for so much damage, and you are item locked as well, which is really, really bad. But outside of that, I think you have really good matchups across the board. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm wrong, maybe they do, maybe they don't have great matchups, but I still think this deck is so much strong, and I don't know. To me, I always loved this deck. I love playing Donphan, but I always did so bad with it. I just always had the worst luck ever. You can ask a bunch of my friends. I would always go to like tournaments and be like, all right, we're gonna play Donphan. And then I would always do really bad. And I don't know why. I guess I'm just not a good Donphan player or something. Maybe the deck just doesn't like me or something. Maybe I just have a bad luck with the deck, I guess. But today we're going to go over the Donphan deck. We're going to see what's it about, and we'll see how it works. Now, our main attacker is going to be Donphan. Of course, the deck is called Donphan, so our main attacker is going to be Donphan. And what we're going to do is use Spinning Turn. It does 40 base, which is not a lot, but of course, with fighting, you have multiple ways to increase the damage output. But it does 40 damage, and you switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, and the second attack is great as well. Wreck does 80, and if there's a Stadium card to play, this attack does 60 more damage, and you discard that Stadium card. Okay, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 140 damage if you use Wreck, which is really nice. Combine this with like Strong Energies, Fighting Stadium, Muscle Band. You can easily start one-shotting EX Pokemon, which is really nice. But Spinning Turn is the main focus of this deck. And what we're going to Spinning Turn to is actually a Robo substitute. Robo substitute, you play this card as if it was a 30 HP Colors basic Pokemon anytime during your turn. But if this card can't retreat, which is the main thing. So to put it out of the active, you have to discard from the field. You know, right here, you may discard this card to play. So the way you just discard it, you can't retreat, which is okay, I guess. It'd be kind of broke if you just retreat, set up a new Robo sub. But if this card is knocked out, your opponent doesn't take any prize cards off it, which is really nice. So your opponent has to deal with these Robo subs, or they have to find Lysandres to break up your Donphan, which is really nice. Now, Donphan's most likely taking a 2-shot against EX decks, but your opponent EX Pokemon can't really even hit the Donphan because it keeps Spinning Turn to the bench, which is amazing. Alright, so we play 3 Hawlucha in the deck as well. It is a very good turn 1 attacker. It has the attack Flying Press. It does 60. If your opponent's active Pokemon isn't a Pokemon EX, this attack does nothing. But if it is a Pokemon EX, you can easily do a ton of damage to it turn 1, and this attack isn't affected by weakness or resistance, so you really don't have to worry about the fighting resistance. But this card is such a great card. It can help you put early pressure on your opponent's side of the field while sitting Donphan's on the bench, and your opponent only takes 1 prize card off this Pokemon. And that's the main thing to note about this deck, is that the deck plays like non-EX Pokemon, so your opponents only take 1 prize card for each attacker, which is really nice. We also play a 1-1 Jolteon, which might seem kind of weird, but 2 of the biggest decks in Expanded is Mega Rayquaza and Yveltal. And so with this, you can actually hit them for weakness because Jolteon turns your stage 1s into a lightning types as well as their existing types. So now Donphan is a fighting and a lightning type, which I think it makes it amazing. And once again, I'm not sure why people haven't really played around with this idea. Like I said, maybe it's too slow nowadays. I don't know. But today we're going to see how it works. That's going to be all the Pokemon we play in the deck. Some people might play a 4th Hawlucha. That's the only thing I can really see besides that. Alright, so 1 Computer Search for consistency, 1 Enhanced Hammer discard of Special Energy in play to slow down your opponent just a little bit, 1 Level Ball to search for a Pokemon with 90 HP or less. This is going to help you get your Eevees and the Jolteon, and the Hawlucha and the Phanpy as well. 1 Letter to search for 2 Fighting Energy, 1 Super Rod to shuffle 3 combination of Pokemon energies from your discard pile back into your deck, 2 Ultra Ball, and the reason we're playing Ultra Ball is, of course, to discard supporter cards out of our hand. Like, let's say you have a Korress and a Hex Maniac, but you're really not going to need them until later on. You can Ultra Ball them away, so that way you can VS Seeker for them later instead of wishing, like, hey, I wish I had these supporter cards in my discard pile. Ultra Ball does give you the option. So that's all the item cards we're going to play. 4 via Seeker, or well, of course 4 via Seeker to reuse supporter cards, but 1 Colress, shuffle your hand into the deck, and then draw a number of cards equal to the number of bench Pokemon to play. 1 Hex Maniac to shut down abilities until the end of your opponent's turn, which this does actually combo with Hawlucha. Once again, Hawlucha, its ability makes it where it can't hit for weakness, but if you use Hex Maniac and Hawlucha, you can make it where you hit for weakness on an EX Pokemon, which is really, really nice. And maybe you can one-shot, like a turn 1 one-shot a Jolteon, or turn 1 one-shot a Manectric EX or something, because you can turn off your Shining Spirit and hit for weakness, which is really nice. You have 6 Strong Energy 20, and then a Fighting Stadium, that's 100 times 200 damage turn 1, which is really nice with Hawlucha, and that's why I love Hex Maniac in the deck. For Korrina, this is how we're going to search out a fighting Pokemon. Korrina lets you search for a fighting Pokemon and an item card, which is why we play like the Level Ball, the Letter, the Ultra Ball, because you can Korrina for your Phanpy, and then get whatever else you need with the Korrina, which is really nice. 1 Lysandre, 4 in, 3 Juniper. Your opponent's probably going to take their prize cards first, which is why we play more in the Juniper. But you also don't want to discard a bunch of cards, so you do have to save these as well. 3 Fighting Stadiums, so you do 20 or more damage to the defending Pokemon EX, which is going to help us with the Donphan. Remember, Spinning Turn only does 40, but with the Fighting Stadium you can do 60, with the Muscle Man you can do 80, and with the Strong Energy you can do 100 damage. Now, you could play... one thing that you could play as well is a Silver Bangle. Silver Bangle does 30 more damage to the opponent's active EX. You could cut a Focus Sash for a Silver Bangle. Maybe that's what you want to play. But I'm opting to play more Focus Sashes as of right now. Focus Sash says if this Pokemon's full HP, it's going to be knocked out. It has 10 HP instead, and discard this card. And the reason I'm playing this card is because Night March is really big and expanded. So I think it's really needed to help the Night March matchup, so that way when they try to knock you out, they can't because of Focus Sash. So they need like a Megaphone or a Toad Scrapper or a Xerosic to get the tool off the Donphan, which is really nice. 2 Muscle Bands to do 20 more damage to the active, and this is actually still needed to hit some crucial numbers. Like a Pumpkaboo, you still need the Muscle Band. Like, it's weird. Like, playing against Night March, you're like, man, I kind of want a Muscle Band so that we can knock out a Pumpkaboo, but I also want a Focus Sash so that way I don't get knocked out. Like, it's a weird kind of thing going on here in the deck, and hopefully somebody can crack the combo. 4 Strong Energy, so you do 20 more damage to the opponent's active Pokemon. So we have the Muscle Band, we have the Strong Energy, we have the Fighting Stadium, so many different things to do combo or do extra damage with. 4 Fighting Energy, so that way we can do, Spinning Turn or the Flying Press, and even you can use Sign of Evolution if you want to get out Jolteon turn 2. You really, really want to. And 2 DC, and the DC are in here to help out with Rec, because Rec needs 2 Fighting Energy and a DC, and that's, that's great with DC, because you can just use Rec out of nowhere and take a knockout. And that is the Donphan deck. Once again, this deck hasn't seen much success. I don't think I've even covered it since last year, but a lot of people haven't seen the deck, and today we're going to cover it, and we're going to see what's going to happen. So hopefully you enjoyed this deck introduction. Thanks for watching, and let's see what happens. Alright, but against Valorose playing all water deck. Could it be a Mega Gyarados deck? That could be what they're playing, but we see a Greninja coin, so it could be Greninja as well, which I'm not sure how the Greninja match even goes, but they have Mega Gyarados sleeves, so maybe they play a Mega Gyarados, but we get a mulligan having 2 Robo subs, and it is going to be a Greninja deck, so Greninja versus Donphan. I wonder how this is going to work. Now, our opponent can easily, pop our Robo subs, get him discarded pretty easily. Alright, we get a Phanpy, which is weak to water, which is very unfortunate. Put a Phanpy down. Okay. Full press done. And we'll get a Level Ball for another Phanpy, which is nice. There's a Froakie, sorry. We'll Level Ball for a Phanpy. Okay. We'll put that down in the field, and we'll probably just play the in, putting the Fighting Energy to the active, and we'll just play it in, go shuffle our hand into the deck, and draw 6 new cards. And let's see, what do we get off the 6? Well, there's a Strong Energy, double Donphan, so next time we can, Spinning Turn to knock out the Froakie, which would be nice. We'll put down the Hawlucha, and we'll just end our turn. I'm not really too scared about a turn 1 knockout. Definitely later on, though, if my opponent eventually gets the Greninjas out, that's going to be very hard for us to deal with. Now, luckily, we do have a Strong Energy, so we can put down the Phanpy. We can put double Donphan down. Oh, we might see a Bubble. Now, if he goes for a Bubble, we can knock out this Froakie. There's a Rope Seeds coming down. And does my opponent just Bubble here? Do we get the turn 1 or turn 2 Donk? There's a Delinquent, so you have to discard 3 cards from her hand. I'm going to discard this, and this. We're gonna go for it. We're gonna discard those three, keeping the Donphan and the Strong Energy. And does my opponent have another Pokemon or not? Nope, just a bubble. And there is a Tails. Alright, so we are gonna get the dog with Donphan. We got the Donphan, we got the Strong Energy, and we got the Spinning Turn number 2, or turn 2 Spinning Turn to knock out this Froakie for 60 damage. And it'll still be a weird matchup for sure, because we can, I don't know, we could probably knock out like a Frogadier next turn if we get a Muscle Band. I mean, our hand wasn't very good. He did delete with us, but there we go. There's Donphan taking a win. We'll take that. We'll take that. But we'll see some more games with this deck, probably 2 more. So that one was very, very quick. My opponent just drew nothing in, just a loss. But we'll see what happens in the next game. That just proves right there, like, my opponent delinquent with us, and we still had a great turn too. But we'll see what happens in the next game. Alright, putting against Lack on P3, playing a Psychic and a Colorless deck. And as you see, this keeps happening to me. These white deck boxes appear, and I can't do anything. As you see, none of these buttons are working for me. I'm not sure what is happening right now. I don't know if PTCO is bugged for everybody else. On my end, I've restarted the... I've deleted the game, reinstalled the game, and I still can't fix it. I'm going to try my best to see if I can find a way to fix this. I'm going to keep trying my best. Hopefully something works out here in a second, and we can record some videos for Expanded Thursday, but right now it is not looking great for today's episode of Expanded Thursday. But hopefully the next cut will see me playing an actual game. We'll see what happens. Alright, putting this Vogel Batcher 23, playing an all fire deck, and let's see what's going to happen. We'll call heads like always, and we won the coin flip. There we go, and yes, I would love to go first, so that way we can set up the Donphans, get some Phanpys out, and let's see what happens. Okay, this is not the hand I wanted. This is not what I want to see. 3 Focus Sashes in our deck. Now I kind of want to play Echo Arm to shuffle cards back to our deck. There's a Rock Guard, a Ninetales Bright Look. Okay, alright, I can dig it. Alright, so they're going to shuffle their hand back to deck and draw 7 new cards. Alright, so they get a double mulligan. So hopefully we can find an in. So that way we don't discard so many important cards. And alright, so they find a Pokemon, maybe a Korrina as well. That'd be a great card to get. And let's see what's going to happen. Yes, I'll draw for mulligan. Yes, I'll draw for mulligan. There's a Phanpy and a Fighting Energy, so press done. There is a Heatmore and a Reshiram. Alright, we'll take it. Phanpy, Fighting Energy, Ultra Ball, discard Juniper, and a Focus Sash. And with this, we're going to get another Phanpy out of play, so that we can try to get as many set up as we need to. Jolteon's really not needed. I guess if we play Vaporeon, we could have done more damage if we're a water type, but let's play in. What's Heatmore do? Reinforced Flame, 20. If this Pokemon has a tool attached to it, do 20 more damage, and Heat Blast for 70, okay? That's a thing. Alright, so see in, we'll put down Phanpy, and we will just end our turn to my opponent's turn. Now, I don't think they can really... if this Pokemon's tool attached to it, this attack does 20 more damage, so maybe we should attach a Focus Sash to the active. There's a Crushing Hammer, heads. Alright, go and discard that Fighting Energy off our Phanpy. Fire Energy to the active. And there's a Reinforced Flame for only 20 damage. Alright, so into our turn. Let's see what's going to happen. There's a Donphan, so put that down. I don't even know if a Fighting Energy in the deck. Let's click Korrina. And with the Korrina, we're going to grab a Donphan. And there is a letter. So we'll grab a letter for sure. Alright, so put those 2 cards in our hand. How much does second attack do? 70 damage. So with the letter, we'll grab 2 Fighting Energies, okay? 1 and 2. We'll put a Fighting Energy on a Donphan. We'll put another Fighting Energy on this guy. We will free retreat into the Donphan. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to Spinning Turn with this Donphan to send up the other Donphan. So let's go for the Spinning Turn. Send up this guy and do only 40 damage. But next turn we could knock out this guy if we get a Strong Energy and a Muscle Band, which is very unlikely. But maybe if we top deck a Strong Energy, we can do it this turn. So there's an Eevee, my opponent's gonna get out a Blaziken? No, Combuskin. There we go. So Combuskin coming out to the field. All right. A Fire Energy going on that guy. A Charon gonna draw 3 new cards. Alrighty. And let's see. There's another an intake coming down. So a Fire versus Fighting. And we'll probably see another Reinforced Flame. But what we can do next turn if we don't top deck this Strong Energy. Hold on, wait for a Strong Energy. And okay, an Eevee. Alright, so we're going to Korrina. And with the Korrina, we are going to grab, another Hawlucha. Because why not? And we're going to grab a Robo substitute. Alright. So grab those two cards. We'll put down the Hawlucha. We'll put down the Robo sub. Fighting Energy to the active. And we will spinning turn into... I kind of tipped this into the Hawlucha so that we don't lose. Yeah, we'll just hit up a Hawlucha, sure, why not? So we'll do 40 damage to the active. Gonna save the Hawlucha, and ults my opponent's turn. Let's see what's going to happen. Next turn we can use the spinning turn for the knockout. Maybe start pounding up this guy. There's a fire energy going to that guy, okay. I need to get a wrecked ready to go. So another reinforced flame for 20, okay. And on to our turn, what do we get? We get Enhanced Hammer, which is useless. So put down Fighting Stadium. We use Juniper, gun discard our hand. Draw 7 cards. There's a Strong Energy, a Focus Sash. So we're going to Strong Energy this guy. We're going to free retreat into it. And we will use Spinning Turn for the knockout. I'm actually going to save the Robo sub right now because I don't know what Blaziken does. And that could be very scary. I guess I should have Focus Sash this guy as well. So that way if he does get a Lysandre off, we can maybe potentially save our guy. But there's a Hex Maniac coming down. And there's an Ante coming onto the field. Alright. So what I'm kind of contemplating doing right now is just using Wreck over and over again. To win the game. Like, play really aggressive and go that way. So there's a fire energy to the active. We might see a burning roar. Look at discard the top 4 cards of your deck. If any of those are fire energies, attach them to your Pokemon any way you like. There's a blacksmith putting 2 fire energies on the active. Oh no, just 1 combat blaze for 120. Alright. So I'm going to take a knockout. We're going to send the Donphan. And yeah, I think the correct play is to be aggressive. Take a knockout on this guy. So put a DC on this guy. Focus Sash the active. We will Ultra Ball, discard Hex Maniac and the Lysandre to get another Donphan out into play. Alright, and that's what I was saying earlier with the Ultra Balls. You could discard a supporter cards that you really don't need to get out Pokemon, so that we can be a Seeker form later on. So put that guy down, and we will go for a Wreck to knock out the active. I guess we could have played a supporter card, but there really wasn't really one that I wanted automatically. So we're going to go down to 4 price cards, alright, and we get a Robo substitute. Let's see, my opponent said I'm gonna send him this guy, which we can just wreck automatically for the knockout if he doesn't evolve it, which is really nice. There's a letter, gonna search deck for 2 fire energies. Let's see, Flamethrower can discard energy attached to this Pokemon, not our Pokemon, so I'm not too worried about that. And let's see if fire energy is the active, okay. We can actually use Spinning Turn for the knockout 4, 6, 8. Which is really nice, so that way we're not worried about a Reshiram. There's a Stevens going to search for a supporter card and an energy. I imagine they're going to get another fire energy because they're playing an all fire deck. But let's see what the Stevens gets my opponent. Let's see, what does he get? Okay, a Geovita Scheme and a fire energy. I guess he's trying to do plus 20 more damage next turn. I'm not 100% sure. But looks like we might see a Flamethrower for 70, okay. And he discards energy. Oh, it automatically discards. It's not a May. I thought it was a May for a second. But let's see. 4, 6. Yeah, let's put a Strong Energy in the active and Robo sub down. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be a Seeker for a Juniper. Discard our hand. Draw on 7. Do we have a Colress in here? We don't have a Colress. Yeah, let's just grab the Juniper. I'm going to discard my hand. Draw on 7 cards. And the reason why I'm doing this is I'm looking for a Fighting Stadium for the next turn, which we have one right there. We'll play a Level Ball to get a card out of our deck, so that way we don't have it the next turn. Sure, we'll grab the Hawlucha. So that way if they end us, we don't have the Level Ball in our deck anymore. And we will go for a Spinning Turn, which is going to do 4, 6, 8. Going to knock out the Combuskin, and let's send up this Robo sub. So that's a knockout on the active. Going to go down to 3 price cards. And let's see, what does my opponent do this turn? We get a DCE, which is really not that needed. On to my opponent's turn. Do they find a Pokemon or not? If they don't, we can use Wreck. I think Wreck regardless might take a knockout. 8, 10, 12. Another Strong Energy deal 140 damage, which will knock out the active. And I don't think my opponent can do anything. They better put down another Pokemon. But there's a Blacksmith. Going to put 2 fire energies onto the active. And I think we're going to go for a gigantic Wreck next turn. Hold on, wait for it. Let's see what Vogel decides to do. Does he find another Pokemon or not? And nope, just an Outrage for 20 damage. Doesn't even use the second attack, the Blue Flare. What we're going to do is put a Strong Energy in this guy. Discard the Robo sub. Send up the Donphan. Right now, we can use Wreck regardless. Take a knockout 8, 10, 12, 14. But we're going to put down the Fighting Stadium. And we are going to use Wreck. And I think this is going to do 200 damage if I did the math right. And yeah, there's 200 damage. Gonna knock out that Reshiram and we'll take the game. And you saw during this game too, you saw like the thing keep popping up saying, hey, here's a tip, don't do this, or tip, here's this. Like I said earlier, the PTCO is being really buggy for me, and it's really hard to load into games. So all we can do right now is take this one game. I do apologize for this. One day, we'll cover Donphan again. I know all we saw was a donk on a Froakie, and the next game we play against an all-fire deck, which is not very exciting, but we did learn something about Donphan. We saw how it worked and everything like that. It is getting late for me, and I have to go to work in the morning, which is unfortunate. But there we go. Also, the big thing about tomorrow too, as well, if you don't know, Fan Friday is I record Fan Friday tomorrow, and the way I pick Fan Friday is the deck with the most likes gets. Okay, hold on. Let me restart this all over again. All right, so Fan Friday is what I record tomorrow. The way I pick Fan Friday is on Facebook, which the link is down below in the description. You go there to the Facebook page. There's a post saying, "Hey, in 24 hours, I'm recording Fan Friday. The deck with the most likes will win." And that's how I decide who's going to win Fan Friday. So if you don't like the Facebook page, make sure you like it. But the key thing about this is I'm actually going to take the top 2 most liked decks, because next Friday I'll actually be at Nationals, and next Thursday I'll be at Nationals as well. So obviously I can't record Fan Friday then because I'll be at Nationals. How can I record Fan Friday? So make sure you go vote for your favorite decks, and that way for 2 weeks straight we'll have the most liked deck win. We'll have 1 week with one week with the other, and so that way we'll have 2 decks for Fan Friday. And now we'll be ready to go, and we'll have these decks pre-recorded for before National comes, which is really, really nice. But there, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Expanded Thursday. See you in Donphan. Like I said, the game was glitchy for me. I don't know if it's glitchy for anybody. Well, actually, I know it's glitchy for other people. But hopefully Pokemon gets this fixed by tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a great Thursday. Thanks for watching. Alrighty. Bye. Alright, guys. Just want to give a quick shout out to our 2 sponsors, 60 Cards and Yeti Gaming. The links are down below to their websites. Make sure you go check them out. Alrighty.